Pick up a bottle of juice in almost any American grocery store and do one simple thing. Do not look at the fruit picture first. Do not look at the color first. Do not look at the word natural first. Turn the bottle around and read the first 3 ingredients. That is where the truth usually starts. If the first ingredient is water, the bottle is mostly water. If the second ingredient is high fructose corn syrup, sugar, or dextrose, the sweetness is coming from a sweetener before it is coming from fruit. And if natural flavor appears after that, the fruit taste may be created by a flavor system instead of by enough real fruit to carry the drink on its own. That is the trick in the juice aisle. A bottle can look like juice, sit beside juice, use fruit pictures, use vitamin language, and still contain very little actual fruit. Welcome to Tips for Senior. Today we are looking at 15 popular juice brands many families should avoid, and 5 that are actually closer to real juice. This matters for older adults because juice often feels like the healthy choice. It can sit on the breakfast table beside medicine, cereal, toast, or eggs. It can feel gentler than soda and more natural than a soft drink. But some of the bottles in this aisle are not much different from sweetened water, with color, flavor, and a fruit story on the front. Before we start the list, here is the label decoder that can save you money and confusion. First, look for the juice percentage. The Food and Drug Administration requires juice drinks to declare the percentage of juice when the label suggests juice is present. A bottle can say juice, drink, and contain a very small amount of actual juice. That number is not decoration. It is the difference between fruit and fruit theater. Second, watch the word cocktail. In the juice aisle, cocktail usually means the product is not 100% juice. It may still contain real fruit juice, but it is also often diluted with water and sweetened to make it easier to drink. Third, pay attention to from concentrate. Juice from concentrate is real juice, but it has been processed, concentrated, shipped, and reconstituted with water. That does not make it fake by itself. But when water is first, syrup is second, and juice from concentrate appears later, the drink is leaning more on sweetener than fruit. Fourth, do not let natural flavor do all the work. Natural flavor can come from natural sources, but that does not mean the drink contains meaningful amounts of the fruit on the front. If a berry drink has no berries in the ingredient list, the berry taste is not being carried by berries. Fifth, do not trust refrigerator placement. A drink can sit next to orange juice because the company wants it to feel fresh. Placement is not proof. The ingredient list is proof. One more point matters for older adults. Juice is not automatically harmless just because it came from fruit. Real juice can still carry a lot of natural sugar, and portion size still matters. But there is a meaningful difference between natural fruit sugar inside actual juice and added sweetener inside a drink that only tastes like juice. That is why this video is not telling you to drink unlimited orange juice. It is telling you to stop paying juice money for bottles that are mostly water, syrup, color, and flavor. The better question is not only, is this sweet? The better question is, what is making it sweet? If the answer is fruit, you are looking at one kind of drink. If the answer is syrup plus flavor, you are looking at something else. Now keep those 5 rules in mind, because once you see this pattern, the aisle starts looking very different. Number 15. Welch's Grape Juice Cocktail. Welch is one of the most trusted names in American juice, and that is exactly why this one deserves attention. The brand also sells real 100% grape juice. That product is simple. It is grape juice. That is why the flavor system has to step in. That is why color has to step in. The pouch sells the memory of childhood juice, but the drink inside is mostly a sweetened base with grape impression added. There is a simple way to think about it. Real grape juice has depth. It has tartness. It can taste almost heavy, because grapes have natural tannins. Kool-Aid Jammers taste flatter because the product is designed for easy sweetness, not fruit complexity. This matters because lunchbox products are often repeated for years. A small pouch does not feel like much. But a small daily habit can train the palate to prefer sweet-colored drinks over real fruit. Number 11. Hawaiian Punch Fruit Juicy Red. Hawaiian Punch may be one of the most successful fruit illusions in the American drink aisle. The name feels tropical. The color is intense. The ingredient list may mention several fruits, including apple, pineapple, passion fruit, orange, papaya, guava, and apricot. That sounds impressive until you notice the percentage. The total juice content can be under 2%. 7 fruit names can appear in the same product, while all the juice together still makes up only a tiny part of the bottle. That is not a fruit blend in the way most families imagine it. That is a sweetened red drink with a tropical flavor system. Artificial colors help create the punch look. Preservatives help keep the product stable. The fruit names help create the expectation. Here is the part many shoppers miss. More fruit names on the label do not automatically mean more fruit in the bottle. Sometimes it means the company has more fruit words to use, while the actual fruit amount stays extremely small. That is why Hawaiian Punch belongs on the avoid side. It sells abundance. The ingredient list suggests scarcity. Number 10. Capri Sun Standard Fruit Punch Variety. Capri Sun has one important detail that needs to be handled fairly. The brand has a 100% juice line, and that line is not the same as the standard juice drink blend. The standard fruit punch drink is the one families should read carefully. In that version, water comes first. High fructose corn syrup can come next. Actual juices from concentrate may appear at less than 1% for each fruit. Natural flavor finishes the fruit punch impression. That is a very different product from 100% juice. The silver pouch also hides the liquid. You cannot see the color, the thickness, or the clarity before it is opened. The front label and the brand memory do the selling. This is where older adults who buy snacks for grandchildren can get caught. The box feels familiar. The size feels modest. The price feels reasonable. But the label may be telling you that the fruit is barely present. When a product has a better line and a weaker line, the burden falls on the shopper to notice the exact wording. That is not always easy in a busy grocery aisle. Number 9. Minute Maid Berry Punch. Minute Maid has decades of trust because the name is strongly tied to orange juice. That trust becomes a problem when it moves into punch drinks. Minute Maid Berry Punch can contain water, high fructose corn syrup, small amounts of pear and grape juice from concentrate, citric acid, added vitamin C, natural flavors, modified starch, glycerol ester of rosin, and artificial colors. Now notice the fruit mismatch. The product is called Berry Punch, but the listed juices are pear and grape. The berry taste comes from natural flavor rather than from berries doing the main work. Glycerol ester of rosin is another clue. It is used to keep flavor oils evenly distributed in beverages. Its presence tells you that the flavor system needs help staying mixed in the water base. Real berry juice does not need to pretend to be berry juice. It tastes like berries, because berries are there in meaningful amounts. If a fruit drink tastes exactly the same every time, looks exactly the same every time, and never gives you any sharpness, tartness, pulp, bitterness, or natural variation, the flavor may be coming from a formula more than from fruit. That does not mean you can never drink it. It means you should know what it is. There is a big difference between choosing a sweet drink as a treat and buying it because the package made it look like fruit. A treat is honest. A label illusion is not. That is the standard I would use in the juice aisle from now on. Buy real juice when you want juice. Buy a flavored drink only when you know it is a flavored drink. The front of the bottle sells the dream. The ingredient list tells the receipt. If this video helped you read the juice aisle differently, leave a like, subscribe to Tips for Senior, and comment with the drink you want us to check next. The next time you see a bottle covered in fruit pictures, turn it around. The truth is usually waiting in the first 3 ingredients. It has a short ingredient list and a flavor that comes from Concord grapes. But Welch Grape Juice Cocktail is not the same product. The key word is cocktail. The ingredient list begins with water. Then comes high fructose corn syrup, Grape juice from concentrate appears after that. So the front of the bottle gives you grapes. The brand name gives you trust, but the ingredient list tells a different order of importance. This is the kind of bottle families grab because the name feels safe. A grandparent may have seen Welch in the refrigerator for decades and assume every Welch grape bottle is the same basic thing. It is not. The real lesson here is not that every Welch product is bad. The lesson is that one trusted brand can sell two very different bottles side by side. One is real grape juice. One is a cocktail built around water and sweetener. When the difference is one small word, the label is asking you to miss it. Number 14. V8 Splash Tropical Blend. V8 is a name many shoppers connect with vegetables, juice, and better choices. That is why V8 Splash deserves a careful look. The bottle sounds like a fruit and vegetable shortcut. Tropical Blend suggests pineapple, mango, sunshine, and something a little closer to produce than soda. The label also talks about vitamins and family refreshment. But the ingredient list changes the picture. Water comes first. Carrot juice concentrate appears next. High fructose corn syrup follows. Then come acid, natural flavoring, added vitamin C, sucralose, added B vitamins, and flavor support ingredients. In some formats, the product is described as being made with 5% carrot juice from concentrate. That means the real juice portion is not the tropical fruit story most shoppers imagine from the front. This is the quiet trick. A vegetable brand can make a flavored drink feel healthier before the shopper reads the bottle. For older adults, that matters because V8 often carries a health halo. A familiar health-leaning name can make a sweetened flavored beverage feel more responsible than it really is. V8 Splash is not the worst drink in the aisle, but if you are buying it because you think the tropical fruit on the front is doing the main work, the label deserves a second look. Number 13. High C Fruit Punch. High C has a name that does a lot of quiet marketing. It sounds like high in vitamin C. That sounds like fruit. That sounds like something a parent might feel good about putting into a lunchbox or keeping in the fridge for grandchildren. But the vitamin story deserves a second look. High C Fruit Punch is built around water, high fructose corn syrup, concentrated juices, acid, added vitamin C, modified starch, artificial flavor, and artificial colors such as red 40, blue 1, and blue 2. The vitamin C is real, but that does not mean it came from a large amount of fresh fruit. It can be added as ascorbic acid after the drink is built. That is the trick. A drink can be fortified with a vitamin and still be mostly sweetened water. The front gives you nutrition language. The ingredient list gives you the construction plan. For families, the danger is not one small serving on a special day. The danger is turning a fruit punch drink into a daily habit because it sounds healthier than soda. If the fruit taste depends on flavors and colors, and the vitamin was added later, the drink is not doing what real fruit does. Number 12. Kool-Aid Jammers. Kool-Aid Jammers are built for convenience. Small pouch, tiny straw, bright flavor, easy to pack, easy for children to recognize, easy for adults to buy without stopping. That convenience is part of the problem. In a grape version, the drink can contain water, high fructose corn syrup, less than 2% grape juice concentrate, citric acid, natural and artificial flavors, synthetic colors, preservatives, and added vitamin C. Less than 2% grape juice is not enough to carry a true grape drink. Minute Maid Berry Punch uses a trusted juice name to sell a drink that is much closer to flavored sweetened water than most shoppers expect. That is the danger of brand trust. It can make the ingredient list feel optional. It is not optional. This is also where the aisle becomes confusing on purpose. A shopper sees Minute Maid and remembers breakfast orange juice. Then the same name appears on a berry punch bottle. The mind carries the trust forward before the label earns it. That small mental shortcut is exactly what these products rely on. Number 8. Tang Fruit Punch. Tang is not a bottle of juice. It is a powder that becomes a fruit-colored drink when mixed with water. That alone should make the category clear. Tang can contain sugar, citric acid, maltodextrin, sodium phosphate, potassium citrate, synthetic colors, natural and artificial flavor, and added vitamins. What it does not contain is fruit juice. No oranges, no berries, no grapes, no pressed fruit. The color comes from coloring. The citrus impression comes from flavor. The vitamin story comes from added vitamins. Tang became famous partly because of space-age marketing. That made it feel clever, modern, and even scientific. But a famous history does not turn a powder into fruit. For older viewers, this is worth remembering, because many pantry products earned trust decades ago. They became household names before people were trained to read ingredient lists closely. Tang is not the same as orange juice. It is a sweetened flavored drink mix with vitamins. That may be fine if you know what you are buying. It is not fine if the label leads you to think fruit is doing the work. Number 7. Kool-Aid Liquid Drink Mix. This product is even farther from real juice than the pouches. It is a concentrated flavor liquid squeezed into water. The fruit is not the base. The water is the base. The squeeze bottle simply changes the color and taste. A cherry version can contain water, propylene glycol, citric acid, preservatives, less than 2% flavor ingredients, artificial sweeteners, red color, and vegetable juice for color. No meaningful cherry juice is doing the job. Propylene glycol is used in food products as a carrier for flavors and colors. That does not mean the food-grade ingredient is the same as industrial chemical use, but its position near the top of the list tells you something important. This product is engineered to deliver flavor into water. That is not juice. It is a flavor system in a bottle. For families trying to cut back on sugar, these products can feel like a smart swap. But replacing sugar with artificial sweeteners and color does not add fruit. It only changes the type of processed sweetness. The word fruit may live in the flavor name. The fruit itself is not really there. Number 6. Gatorade Thirst Quencher Fruit Punch. Gatorade is a little different because it does not mainly claim to be juice. It claims to be a sports drink. And for heavy exercise, heat, sweat, and athletics, the electrolyte idea has a real purpose. But in many grocery stores, Gatorade sits near juice. Many people drink it as a daily beverage when they are not exercising. That is where the problem starts. Fruit Punch Gatorade contains water, sugar, dextrose, citric acid, natural flavor, salt, sodium citrate, monopotassium phosphate, modified food starch, red 40, glycerol ester of rosin, and caramel color. No juice. The Fruit Punch taste comes from flavor. The color comes from added color. The sweetness comes from sugar and dextrose. So the issue is not whether Gatorade can have a use. The issue is whether it belongs in the daily juice habit of a person who is simply thirsty at home. For older adults, that distinction matters. Extra added sugar can matter for daily diet, energy swings, and medical routines. A sports drink can sound active and healthy, but the ingredient list may be much closer to sweetened flavored water than to fruit. If you are not losing electrolytes through real exertion, the sports story may not apply to you. That is the practical line. Use products for the reason they were built. A sports drink after heavy sweating is one thing. A Fruit Punch sports drink with lunch every day is another. The bottle does not know your routine. You have to read it through your routine. Number 5. Snapple Peach Tea and Fruit Varieties. Snapple often feels more grown-up than the Bright Punch brands. Glass bottle. Tea language. Fruit names. A slogan that tells you it is made from the best stuff on earth. That is strong framing. But some fruit varieties still begin with filtered water and sugar. Peach juice from concentrate may appear, and in some flavors a more exotic fruit appears much later in the list. Natural flavors may also be used to strengthen the taste beyond what the juice content can deliver. This does not make Snapple the same as the worst drinks on this list. It is closer to real fruit than many of them. But closer is not the same as clear. When a bottle highlights peach and mangosteen, the shopper may imagine a generous fruit drink. The ingredient list may be telling a more ordinary story. Water, sugar, some juice, flavor support, color support. For an older adult choosing a drink because it feels more natural than soda, this difference matters. Snapple can taste refreshing. It can feel less childish than a punch pouch. But the front label still deserves the same test. What are the first 3 ingredients? That question cuts through the mood. Number 4. Ocean Spray Cranberry Cocktail. Ocean Spray is a farmer-owned cooperative, and that deserves respect. The brand also sells 100% cranberry juice blends that are much closer to real juice. But Ocean Spray Cranberry Cocktail is a different product. Cranberries are naturally very tart. Pure cranberry juice can be difficult to drink on its own. The cocktail format solves that problem by adding water and sweetener. That makes the drink more pleasant. It also makes it easier to misunderstand. The label says cranberry, but the bottle is not simply cranberry juice. It can be primarily water and sweetener with cranberry juice from concentrate added for fruit identity. The word cocktail is doing a lot of work here. Most shoppers do not stop to ask what it means. They only see cranberry, red color, and a brand that feels trustworthy. For older adults, cranberry products often carry a health halo. That makes the cocktail label especially important. If someone is choosing cranberry for a specific health reason, they need to know whether they are buying cranberry juice or a sweetened cranberry drink. The better Ocean Spray product exists. This is not that product. Number 3. Juicy Juice Fruit Punch. Juicy Juice has one of the most direct names in the aisle. It says juice twice. That makes the ingredient list even more important. Juicy Juice Fruit Punch can contain water, apple juice from concentrate, cherry juice from concentrate, grape juice from concentrate, pineapple juice from concentrate, citric acid, added vitamin C, and natural flavor. This is better than products with almost no juice. The fruit juices are real. They are not just decoration. But water still leads the list, and the product still depends on concentrate and natural flavor to create the fruit punch taste. The problem is expectation. The name makes the product sound as close to pure juice as possible. The actual formula is more processed and more blended than the name suggests. For a family, this may be an improvement over Hawaiian Punch or Sunny D, but it is still not the same as a simple bottle with one ingredient. Sometimes the middle of the aisle is the hardest place to judge. It is not the worst, it is not the best. It looks familiar enough to stop your questions. Do not let it. Number 2. Tampico Citrus Punch. Tampico is built around value. Large jug. Bright citrus color. Low price. Big family format. That price tells part of the story before the ingredient list does. Tampico Citrus Punch can contain water, high fructose corn syrup, less than 1% of orange, tangerine, and grapefruit juice concentrates, acid, modified starch, preservatives, artificial flavors, and artificial colors, such as yellow 5 and yellow 6. Less than 1% juice across 3 citrus fruits. That is the key. The product is not cheap because someone found a way to give you a gallon of meaningful citrus juice for almost nothing. It is cheap because almost the whole drink is not citrus juice. For families on a tight budget, this is a difficult aisle. Real juice can cost much more. But it is better to know the truth than to mistake a cheap punch for a bargain on fruit. If the bottle is mostly water, syrup, color, and flavor, the low price is not a miracle. It is a formula. Tampico may taste bright. It may look like citrus. But the ingredient list says the fruit is barely there. Number 1. Sunny D Tangy Original. Sunny D appears again at the top because the gap is that big. No drink on this list has worked harder for longer to stand close to real orange juice, while containing so little actual juice. Tangy Original is orange-colored. It is often refrigerated. It uses citrus language. It feels like a breakfast drink. But the ingredient list can include water, high fructose corn syrup, less than 2% concentrated juices, acids, natural flavors, modified starch, canola oil, cellulose gum, artificial flavor, artificial sweeteners, and artificial color. That is a long path to imitate something that real orange juice does with one ingredient. This is why Sunny D earns the strongest warning. The product is not just low in juice. It is surrounded by signals that make shoppers feel like it belongs beside real juice. Refrigeration communicates freshness. Orange color communicates fruit. Vitamin language communicates nutrition. The ingredient list communicates a sweetened engineered drink with very little juice. For older adults, the practical takeaway is simple. If a drink has to use color, oil, starch, sweeteners, and flavor systems to taste like fruit, the fruit is not doing enough work. Now let us talk about the 5 options that are actually closer to juice. This is the reward for reading the label carefully. If this guide is helping, tap like now and subscribe to Tips for Senior. We make grocery labels easier to understand, especially when the front of the package is trying to move faster than the truth. The good list is not about perfection. It is about honesty. Real juice can be expensive. Real juice can be tart. Real juice can still be something you drink in a smaller serving. But the bottles on this side give you a cleaner answer when you ask the most important question: what is this made from? Best option number 5. Florida's Natural Orange Juice. This is one of the simplest mainstream choices. The ingredient list is orange juice. That is what you want to see. Florida's Natural is widely available and easy to understand. It is not from concentrate, which means the orange juice is not concentrated and then rebuilt with added water. It is still pasteurized for safety, so it is not the same as fresh squeezed juice from a kitchen counter. But pasteurized orange juice is still very different from water, syrup, color, and flavor. The reason this belongs on the better list is clarity. The fruit is the product. The label does not need to hide behind a long formula. Best option number 4. Lakewood Organic Pure Lemon Juice. Lakewood Organic is useful because it shows what a real fruit ingredient looks like when the label stays honest. The pure lemon juice version is exactly the kind of product that exposes the fake lemon and citrus drinks. The ingredient list is organic lemon juice. That is all. Real lemon juice is sharp, tart, slightly bitter, and more complex than a simple sour flavor. It does not taste like a candy version of citrus because fruit is not candy. For older adults who want a simple drink, a small amount of real lemon juice in water can give flavor without turning the glass into a punch product. This is not the juice you drink by the large glass. It is the juice that teaches your taste buds what real citrus tastes like. Best option number 3. Uncle Matt's Organic Orange Juice. Uncle Matt's is a better option for shoppers who want organic orange juice with a short ingredient list. The ingredient list is organic orange juice. That gives you 2 signals at once. The fruit is the product, and the farming standard is stronger than conventional. Organic does not make juice perfect. Juice still contains natural sugar, and portion size still matters. But if the choice is between a 1-ingredient organic orange juice and a citrus drink built from water, syrup, flavor, and color, the better choice is obvious. For seniors, this is the kind of upgrade that is easy to understand. Fewer ingredients. Clearer farming standard. More fruit honesty. Best option number 2. Suja Organic Cold-Pressed Juice. Suja is different because of the process. Cold-pressed juice uses pressure to extract juice without the same level of heat used in many conventional processes. Many Suja products also use high-pressure processing for food safety. The key point for the shopper is not the fancy process. The key point is the ingredient list. When a Suja apple juice says organic cold-pressed apple juice, you are looking at a drink built around apples, not a water base dressed up to taste like apples. The flavor is usually less flat than standard shelf juice. It may taste more like real fruit. Because real fruit is doing the work, it costs more. That is true. But the higher price is tied to a different process and a different ingredient standard, not only a nicer label. Best option number 1, Natalie's Orchid Island Juice. Natalie's earns the top spot because the product is built around fresh squeezed juice and a short shelf life. That short shelf life matters. A drink that spoils sooner is not always more convenient, but it can be more honest. It means the product has not been engineered to sit around like a shelf-stable punch. The ingredient list for fresh squeezed orange juice is simple. Fresh squeezed orange juice. 1 ingredient. No water first. No syrup second. No fruit flavor system trying to fill the gap. This is the kind of juice that reminds you why real juice costs more. Fresh fruit has to be grown, picked, squeezed, bottled, shipped cold, and sold quickly. That process costs more than filling a jug with water and sweetener. If you only buy juice occasionally, this is the kind of bottle that makes the most sense. Buy less. Drink a smaller serving. Choose the real thing when you do. Here is the simple shopping rule to take with you. Read the first 3 ingredients before you trust the front of the bottle. If water comes first, understand that you are buying mostly water. If high fructose corn syrup, sugar, or dextrose comes second, understand that sweetness is being added before fruit is doing much work. If natural flavor or artificial flavor appears, ask why the fruit in the bottle cannot carry its own taste. Look for the % juice statement. A drink with 5% juice and a drink with 100% juice are not the same food. Learn the word cocktail. Learn the word drink. Learn the phrase from concentrate. Those words can save you from paying juice prices for a juice illusion. And remember this part. Real juice is often less sweet than fake juice. Real juice can taste tart. Real juice can change slightly from bottle to bottle. That variation is not a flaw. It is a sign that fruit is involved.